Hello everybody, and welcome back to Pravus Gaming with more Plague Inc. Evolved custom scenarios. I feel like we've been doing a lot of Plague Inc. lately. It's almost as if there's been a resurgence of interest in Plague-based content. Can't imagine why. Today we have a scenario that was created by a viewer called SCP-701 by Dwight K. Schrute. Obviously an Office fan. SCP-701, known as the Hanged King's Tragedy, is a play based in 1640, yet has been silent for centuries. Can you change its faith? A play based in 1640, can you change its faith? Alright, I have no idea what that's going to mean. Praise Pravus. I'm not familiar with SCP-701. That's the fun thing about the SCP world, though. They may not be, like, official. It could be just something that somebody created right now, and the SCP universe is so freaking large, people can just come up with their own custom content anytime they want, and that's completely fine. This is a virus type, so we're going to go for ATP boost, Darwinist, oxide achievement file, and symptostasis. Normal difficulty is fine. Let's give it a go. The Hanged King's Tale. Heard by a few, turned into many. Known to some, soon became any. It's just a story, they said, just a tale, yet the Hanged King shall prevail. Okay, SCP-701 is known as the Hanged King's Tragedy, a play that turns everyone that is unfortunate enough to witness it mad and makes them do atrocious things. Really? Okay. Mad King. I don't know. How about, Korea? We're gonna start in Korea. I don't know. Just trying to do something different and random, alright? It's called wacky. That's what we do. No particular reason I'm choosing Korea. Transmission. We have the words for a few. Knowledge in words. Not knowing it's cursed. Increasing infectivity, especially in the arid environments, and shared knowledge. On lakes and rivers. On the sea the tongue went. Speaking of the damned. Is that a deliberate misspelling of damned to be, like, actually damming water? Because if so, that's kind of a fun little pun. Increasing infectivity, good for the human environments and ship transmission. Okay. A story, much told. Stories of the tragedy are shared all around villages, being told by many, increasing infectivity in the rural regions, and by ink and paper, and by all. Flyers are scattered around, spreading the word, increasing infectivity, especially in the urban regions. What is Korea considered to be in this game? Urban. Well, that sounds like something we want. Then we have the chittering voices, can be heard through sand and snow. Sorry, true sand and snow, increasing infectivity, especially in the hot and the cold climates. Okay, so a bit of a environmental resistance there in the transmissions. That's a little odd, but I'm good with it. Message by crows. Crows carry the message of the tragedy across kingdoms and borders, increasing infectivity and land transmission. Well, let's go for the urban for now. By ink and paper makes perfect sense. That leads to a story told by walls. Posters cover the city walls on stone and dirt, increasing infectivity, especially in the urban regions. All right. For our symptoms, we have the king of a city. The man who would be king. All right. And then for abilities, we have they shall know. Story will be heard by all. How very ominous. I don't know what any of that means, but let's give it a go. This is weird. Is this actually SCP-based content? Like, is there actually some basis for this that I'm not familiar with? Totally possible. I'm going to go ahead and pick they shall know. That leads to shared knowledge, decreasing future research speed, and no words, setting back the cure. So that appears to be just the genetic hardening and reshuffle equivalents. Is there anything else in abilities, or is that all that I get? I don't know the answer. Severity at this stage doesn't do me a whole lot of extra good. I'm going to go for on lakes and rivers just to go ahead and build up some more infectivity somewhere. Never started a game in Korea before, so I have no idea what the spread is ultimately going to look like, but China nearby is still an urban country, so it makes sense to me that the story told by walls and stuff would be extra good at getting us out of Korea as quickly as we can. Land transmission also would be helpful in getting into China just a wee little bit faster, and there it is, perfect! And also we get into Russia very early. Unexpected, but I'm happy with that. A surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one. Prequel memes, they're a thing. The Tyrant. Ruled as a tyrant. Ruled as a tyrant. Okay. No, again, no particular reason I chose Korea for this at all. Not at all. 75 million people have been infected. The king has absolute authority over Korea at this point. Okay. Not spreading very rapidly in Russia. We're either going to need to have some sort of resistance to the environment, or we're going to want to get some rural transmission. Both are ultimately acceptable. A story much told could be helpful. Chittering voices, also not a bad idea, especially since we started in Korea, where we actually don't have any particular resistance to hot or cold. So getting a little bit of both makes a lot of sense with chittering voices, and I'm going to go ahead and start doing that right away. Still not making a lot of progress in Russia, but oh well. Now, I'm hoping that the extra severity we have right here is going to result in me getting a fair bit of extra gas as we pick up some speed outside of China, but we should go ahead and double down on that a little bit. The Tyrant, yes, more severity. I like that idea. Let's go for it. More red bubbles, more DNA, give me gas. Let me go. Let's go for a story much told for a little bit of rural transmission. Again, just trying to speed up the spread in Russia. We did get into Central America all the way from China. Wow, that is a long journey to take, but okay, let's go for the words for a few. So now we have a word for them all. The words they call, a curse for them all, increasing infectivity in the arid environments and shared knowledge. On sea, it differs. On the 7 seas, it's been heard, unnecessary apostrophe, but from where did it birth? This is interesting because it's almost going down kind of a poetic-ish route. Like, it's an interesting play on words, especially for a developer who specifically said in the description that English is not the first language, and yet I really appreciate the effort of this. Like, it's a very interesting idea. Very unique style, let's say that, and that's exciting to me. The Jester, suppressing and exploiting his subjects. Okay. Slowing down the cure doesn't do me a lot of good at this point. I think we just continue focusing on more transmission. Murder, yelled the crows. Okay, yeah, let's go for a huge boost in infectivity as well as the land transmission type, which helps me get around a little bit faster. I think we do need some more severity. Let's go for the Jester. That leads to the rebellion. The citizens rebelled against the king. So is this like actually laying out the story of the play? Is that what it is? We're getting a script, effectively, or something? I don't know. Let's go for windy noises for even better hot and cold climates. This leads to by creatures it went. Creatures, they told, do I need to worry? The words are clear, but yet blurry. Increasing infectivity in the hot, cold climates and more cross-country transmission for a whopping 48 DNA points. That is a tad bit steep. I'm not going to lie. I'm willing to bet that you once we pick up the rebellion, this is going to lead to something that results in like mass executions or something along those lines, which is probably not what I want right now. Let's go for on sea. It differs just so we can make sure we get on a lot more of those boats. We seem to be doing just fine in terms of air transmission. There's the rebellion, whether I like it or not. It leads to the bellows. Upon the old tree, the king was hanged. I'm not going to bother with that right now. I think we have enough severity to work with. Do we want to go for more water transmission? Not a lot of infectivity for 24 DNA. Rural, urban. I may need more urban just because we right now do not have any sort of drug resistance. And the result of that is going to be we're going to have a hard time in the wealthier countries of Europe, which are typically urban. So this is my way of still trying to get around that a little bit. A story for the wealthy, for the rich and the royal. The words stay loyal. Increasing infectivity for the urban and wealthy areas. Perfect. Now we can spread a lot faster in Europe. This story shall be all the rage. It's practically going viral. What's left? We're missing Madagascar as far as islands are concerned, but besides that, this ain't bad. Starting in Korea seems to have actually kind of worked. I'm shocked. I'm not upset by it, but I'm shocked. Let's go for a word for them all. This leads to spoken word awaits the call. For the words in any language awaits the call. Good for the arid transmissions. We don't have much for the poor transmission, and that's actually an area that's going to come back to bite me if we're not careful. I'm going to go for in a town, it unfolds for the rural. That leads to a story for us. It was called a story for the people, a story for the masses, even for the lower classes. Increases infectivity, especially in the rural areas, but it does not say more poor transmission. Probably okay, but alrighty then. So how's the cure looking? So far, okay. We are missing Morocco, West Africa, and Algeria. So this area right here. Do we slow down the cure, or do we say go for the extra severity? I'm going to slow down the cure a little bit. It's not too expensive. Just want to see if this continues down that route, and it looks like it does. No words. I'll hold off on that for now. Let's go for some more arid environments, since that makes a lot of sense in arid Africa. Western Africa, specifically. New Zealand is attempting to halt the play. Censorship! How dare ye! New Zealand. All right, let's go for the bellows. That leads to the tragedy begins, and it will be heard. Okay. So, we're in every country. I say we just go ahead and start really doubling down on the symptoms. Every one of them has cost 5 DNA at this point, so with the symptostasis, I think this is going to be relatively cheap. This leads to the present or the past. Which will you choose? I don't know. What are my options? The present, so the tragedy was told, or the past, so the tragedy went. What does that mean? The tragedy continues to unfold, or the tragedy has gone? Let's go for the past. This leads to the first day. A homeless man heard strange noises emanating from his grave. What? How does that happen? And reported he saw crows gathering around the site as waiting for something. Rambles the madman. Words out of his own grave. terrifying concept, to be sure. We're going to run out of DNA very quick if I do not get some lethality. Here it is. The second day. The rivers ran red and smelled of blood. Many citizens fell ill, bleeding while trembling on the floor as though bound by heavy chains. The third day. The illness lifted and they were able to stand again. However, all became suicidal and slit their throats or tore out their own faces. That's just horrifying. Oh, we get the third day for free. Thank you, Mutation Chance, for helping me. This leads to refusing to accept death. As it was all gripped in madness, the king clawed his way out of his grave, having refused to accept death and bargained the souls he did not possess. So he, like, bargained with death with the souls of the people under his rule or something? Which is basically everybody. 40 DNA, unfortunately, is a little on the steep side, and there's no good way for me to get extra DNA, so either we get enough just by killing, or I am going to have to do something to slow down the cure. Let's try going for refusing to accept death. This leads to he who was hung. He emerged, I think emerged, as something neither living, dead, or human. Still wearing his change in rags, he returned a win condition. Well, that sounds good, but I'm probably going to have to slow down the cure if we don't get a heck of a lot more DNA very, very quickly. It looks like it automatically infects everybody, and we did get the 50 DNA. All right, so let's go for he who is... Whoa! Look at the virus's spaz! What the heck happened here? So, I know that these guys get more active as you increase your stats. Did you just give me like 9999999 infectivity or something? I've never seen that happen before. The king sits upon his throne, and thus the hanged king sits in his palace. His lords serve him with broken masks, but the chains bind him with pain and torment, and the crows of death shall forever watch. What an interesting idea, and so the crows laughed. I dig this. Give me a second, I want to look something up. I'm going to do myself a little bit of Google here. SCP-701. Yes, this is actually in the SCP Foundation wiki online. All materials related to SCP-701 to be kept in a triple-locked archive and storage site. I'm looking through it right now real quick. Description. A Caroline-era revenge tragedy in 5 acts. Oh, so that's why there are 5 days. Got it. Performances of the player associated with sudden psychotic and suicidal behavior among both observers and participants, as well as a manifestation of a mysterious figure classified as SCP-701-1. Historical estimates place the number of lives claimed. It doesn't say. Redacted performances. Talks a little bit about the actual... Oh, interesting. So if you go to the SCP Wiki, it does list out like what kind of happens prior to the event, prior to the play. During the dress rehearsal period, cast members begin to spontaneously deviate from the published text of the play, etc. A couple hours before the event, the event itself, following the event. Interesting. Yeah, okay, so I thought this was just like purely created, like a totally made-up SCP. But this actually has some basis, which is really impressive. Interesting. I do think that all of the stuff as far as like the content and the acts and like the word description, right? The different symptom descriptions we have here, I think that is all completely custom-based. I don't see anything in here that tells you like a script of what the story is. So 98% of this is ultimately still the author's own creativity, which is awesome. But yeah, man, this is one of the things that's so fun about doing SCP-based scenarios is I always find something completely new I didn't know about from the SCP universe. So dang cool. Yeah, this is a really interesting idea for a scenario. Now, of course, there's a little bit to be worked on as far as, like, just cleaning up some of the English and the spelling and the grammar and stuff, no problem. But, like, yeah, really, like, the unique style of telling an almost poetic Shakespearean or, I guess, Caroline-era style play, really, really creative. I like that. Absolutely. Thumbs up from me. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you did enjoy. If so, then I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.